Good afternoon, Melanin Project. This is your Melanin Queen. So this is going to be a redo, a voiceover, because obviously something went wrong with my microphone and I was talking, but it did not have a sound. So I have to start completely over. So my mouth will not be going with the video because I am re-recording. So if you can bear with me, that will be great. Unfortunately, this happened, so I have to move forward in doing it the best way that I can do it without having to record the whole entire video. But as you can see, I was in Sausalito today. It's beautiful out there. It was sunny. I didn't bring my tripod, so I could not record outside. So I recorded in the car. Anyway, I'm going to jump right into it. You probably don't want to look directly at the video because it might throw you off a little bit, but that's okay. So we are talking about the stages of grief. And there are 5 to 7 stages of grief. I'm going to run through this. I'm not going to make the video as long as it was prior. So we're going to get right into it. And we're going to start off by with the first stage, and that's normal functioning. And it goes into shock and denial. So you have avoidance, confusion, fear, numbness, and blame. So, certain situations. So, when we think of grief, loss, we think of someone that demised. But loss can be friendship, a relationship, a job, a house, something that you have that you are connected to, and you lose it. And so you're avoiding the situation. If it's a relationship, a breakup, or a job, being laid off from a job, you trying to avoid not going back there to get your last check or get your belongings, or a relationship you're trying to avoid the person because there's too many feelings involved, so on and so forth. Then you're confused by why this is even happening. And then it becomes fear, like, oh, I have to live without this person or without this job or without this house, so on and so forth. And then you just kind of come numb, like, okay, it's happening. I'm avoiding it. I'm confused by it. I'm I'm having some fear. And now I'm just kind of numb. And then it's the blame, like, well, kind of blame myself because this could have happened different, or I could have did this different, or so on and so forth. Then we go down to the anger. That's stage 2, being angry. And with anger comes frustration, anxiety, irritation, embarrassment, and shame. Frustrated because the loss is happening. Anxiety because you don't really know how to handle it. Irritation due to the loss, of course. You're just irritated by everything. Embarrassed because now you have to face the world, like, oh, I got laid off, or I don't have my home anymore, I don't have this friendship anymore, so on and so forth. Shame, I can't really see the shame part, so I can't really speak on that, but some people feel shame. Then stage 3 is the depression and detachment. And what comes with that is being overwhelmed, blah, blase, lack of energy and helplessness. So you become overwhelmed with the shock and anger emotions. So you're overwhelmed. Everything just seems so just piled on you. Like you don't know what to do, where where your energy is going to come from, where your heart is going to be healed, or your finances is going to be that, you just feel overwhelmed. And blah is like, ah, just Have you ever been around someone that just was all the time and you like, I just don't want to be around this person? They are always in blah, and then there's lack of energy, meaning you don't want to get out of bed, you don't want to go anywhere, um, you don't want to interact with anyone, you just want to be in your safe space, whatever that safe space is. And then you feel helpless, like, okay, I don't know what to do to get me back on the road of normality due to this loss, whatever loss that is. And then we go into returning to meaningful life. So, normal function is shock, denial, anger, depression, and detachment. Returning to meaningful life is acceptance and bargaining. So, the fourth stage of grief is bargaining, reacting out to others. I mean, reaching out to others, my bad. Desire to tell one story, struggles to find meaning for what has happened, and reaching out to others. I don't mean just anybody, just talking to anyone, because everybody is not there to really support you. They are there to hear your troubles, hear your downfall, and either pray on it or pray on it. So know the two difference between the two prays. The desire to tell your story. So I'm one that I'm not ashamed to tell my story. I have told my story several times. I have not told my story about my arm yet because I'm just not there without crying. But I have told my story about my 6-year relationship. I have told my story about, when I had to push the child out of the nest and she went on off to college. And, that was a big major grief for me when I lost my grandmother. I had broken up with a boyfriend, and then plus my daughter went off to college. Then I had surgery. So I just had so much on me, struggling to find meaning for what has happened. And so now you're trying to figure out, like, okay, what could have been better? What could I have done better? What could have that other, in reference to relation, what could that other person have done better? Or with the job, what could I have brought to the job, that would have been more effective to where I wouldn't have lost my job? Why I didn't hustle a little harder to keep this house? Like, you're struggling to figure out why did this happen. And then the last stage is acceptance. And acceptance is exploring options, a new plan in place, empowerment, security, self-esteem, and meaning of accepting all of this. So exploring options, meaning, what can I do to bring myself back to a meaningful life? That could be for anybody, that could be therapy, that could be self-help books, that can be church, that could be prayer, that could be just reading books, any book. Um, so that can be that. Having a new plan in place, meaning, okay, look, every morning this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stop this routine. I'm gonna try to do something new, try to be more productive, so on and so forth. Empowerment. You have to empower yourself, because sometimes people are just not there the way that you need them to be there. So you have to show up for yourself. You have to show empowerment, encouragement, and for yourself. You have to know what those things are that help you feel empowered. Security, making sure that your thoughts, your heart, your mind, and all these things, all these emotions that you once had are, and your mind is secure, that you will not go backwards. Self-esteem. Self-esteem is a very, very hard one. Even myself, I have self-esteem issues still. That has been a journey of mine for a long time. And it's not easy. No matter how confident you proclaim to be on the outside of people looking in, but within yourself, if you're not confident, you don't have that self-esteem, it will not feel genuine within yourself. So the meaning of accepting is just understanding that whatever course that was, or whatever season that was, whatever that was, that's what it was. Um, Losing a person, you 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 know that sometimes it's health issues. Now your the life is taken early from that person. You have to get a meaning of, like, okay, this was not supposed to happen, but it happened. So now what do I do? How do I deal with it? What is the meaning of this? And find a meaning to this loss. Everybody deals with loss differently. So those things, I ran through those things, but those stages, the first stage can take months before you even get to anger, before you even get to that. There, there's no time limit. Do not rush yourself through the grief process. So the next two, the extra two that they have here is, so there's shock and denial, there's pain and guilt, there's anger and bargaining, there's depression. Then you go, the upward turn is reconstruction and working through. And then we have 7, acceptance and hope. Number 6, I really like that verbiage that they use. Reconstructing something. Everything that's broken needs to be reconstructed. You lose a house, you have to reconstruct that house. You lose, your heart is broke. You have to reconstruct your heart to make it stronger back into the full heart that it was. Um, Everything that you lose or you break or is broken has to be reconstructed. I really love that word that they use. And reconstructing and working through it. Everything is a process. You have to work through it. You have to work through it. You have to work through it. Even if you, I'll say a friendship, you have a friend and y'all best friends, and y'all end up just kind of falling out and not talking again. You have to reinstruct your trust in order to even have another friend like that, because that trust was broken because of whatever happened, whether it was on your end, you messed up the trust, or on their end. So everything has to, be reconstructed. um My last video, I had said so much, and I went down line by line and just really drawed it out for you guys. And I'm so disappointed that the video did not have any sound. I think the person who um let me know that it did not have any sound. But um I just hope that everyone that is dealing with some type of grief, regardless of what kind of grief or what kind of loss it is, to take your time, feel your feelings, and understand that certain things happen to create and continue to create who you are as a person. We don't like pain. We don't like sorrow. We don't like sadness. We don't like hurt. I understand that because neither do I. But we have to find a way to deal with every stage of grief. And again, there is no time frame. Can't nobody tell you when you need to be okay, how you need to deal with it, how long it's going to take. Everybody works differently. So uh my suggestion is for us to just deal with it how we're going to deal with it and get through it the way we're going to get through it. Um I had to sit back and try to figure out what stage of grief I'm in right now. And I think I am back and forth from the pain and anger. And it's okay. It's totally okay to go back and forth with what stages you are in. I can even go back to shock and denial right now if that was to happen. But I'm in between and it keeps bouncing back and forth, back and forth. And it's more so not really pain, I'll say hurt, you know. It's a cycle and you can go back and forth. And hey, that's what it is. That's what it is. As I was researching and looking at all these different stages of grief, there's also one that they have on here, and it's called testing. And testing means seeking realistic solutions. Some of us, we lose something or someone or something materialistic that's really dear to us, and the solutions are not realistic. Like, you are not going to go get another house in a few days, or probably that not even the same house, or the same job. You may have to get paid a little less than what you are um, used to. Friendship, you probably will never have that type of friendship again. So seeking a realistic solution is just, hey, I'm going to take this in. This loss is what it is. I'm going to, whatever comes next, I will be okay with it because it's never going to be the exact same again. So I enjoyed that one as well. Um, these loss, it is really, you know, they're really complicated. In any form of loss. So we have to just be kind to ourselves, love on ourselves, and make sure that whatever comes, whatever we do, don't lose faith in God. God will make sure that He comforts you. He will sit with you. He will listen to you. He will just provide every need that you desire. He will not let you down. He will make sure that if you have a faith of mustard seed, He will provide all of your needs. And you have to believe that and know that He is there. He is here for us. And He's going to continue to be here for us. We just have to know it and believe it. So, you guys, again, I apologize that I had to do this voiceover, but this is what it is for this week. Next time, I'll make sure I check my mic before I start. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being supportive. And I will see you guys on the next trip around.